Well, dear ladies and gentlemen, probably you know SITSE. SITSE is an international alliance of developing Catholic development agencies. And SITSE has been extremely active on the issue of climate change over the past years, lobbying like crazy, basically following what the Pope has so eloquently told us to say that humankind is a danger and human development and the environmental degradation are closely linked. And we have been extremely inspired by the words of His Holiness over the past months especially. I walked on Broadway this afternoon, and I don't know whether you have been there this afternoon, but all kinds of festivities were going on there. And I thought, as long as everybody is partying like this, we're not going to see the change that we need to see. And I wonder whether we will see the leadership of world leaders that is necessary to do what needs to happen, and because it will hurt to make the change that's needed. And you already, Cardinal, you were very eloquent in really calling for action. I think that will really hurt. Well, I have to say a few more technical things here, because SITSE is also has been very much into the technical aspects of what needs to be done. Well, what we really need on decarbonization, a long-term goal, is fair, ambitious, legally binding agreements signed by all parties at the COP21 conference. Gradual framing and acceptance of binding commitments. And we also need to have a reasonable chance of keeping the global warming below the 1.5 degrees threshold, crucial to protect the most vulnerable regions. We need the decarbonization of economies by no later than 2050 at the latest. An ambitious mitigation of what is happening. And equity, as you already basically all speakers said, needs to be at the heart of any commitment made, a human rights-based approach. We have the ecological debt there. The most vulnerable people need to have a voice in the system, and there should be no decision-making over their heads. Climate finance is also very important. I was in Addis Ababa during the Financing for Development conference there. I think there still need to be a hard fight to get the funding on the table for the climate change to happen. And as Mr. Enelis Sobaga just said, yes, there need to be mitigation and also extra funding. It should be on top of the ODA funding and other funding available to mitigate the consequences of climate change, especially also for those who have contributed the least to the climate change. The role of the private sector has to be more transparent. Transparent and robust reporting will be crucial for tracking financial flows in order to ensure that climate finance doesn't come at the expense of other goals and commitments. And we also need to see to it that there will no false solutions being presented as real solutions, as is what we can see now, climate smart agriculture, which is being presented as a kind of panacea for everything. Most of it, it's not very well researched and might not be a real solution. We have to uphold the do no harm principle at the least, and see to it that the climate finance is not going to be harmful for local communities. Well, it will be really compelling and hard, but there's no alternative to fight. The clock is ticking, and it's ticking louder and louder, and we have no time to lose. And SITSE will do everything in its might to contribute to the goals that have been set here this week, and that we really have to fight, all of us, for to have them implemented. Thank you very much.